Well, this is the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host. A Wind is Timeless. It all starts with a gentle sadness. I am the holder of the sacred ball game of the Hero Twins. I am the Galactic Daddio sitting on my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. And I'll probably read a little later, but I'm just messing around and I'd be forgetting to put the crystals in the singing bowl. And this was what was interesting was, and what caught my attention is this crystal actually started absorbing the sound and kind of hogging the sound. It was like it wouldn't make it vibrate. It didn't really like to vibrate. That's what caught my attention. It really didn't want to vibrate. It was centering itself so it wouldn't vibrate. And then when the sound was released, it was absorbing it instead of sharing the sound out, which was kind of interesting. But that's the black kyanite, very protective. And before we get started, we're going to do our commercial break. Plus, my beer's getting warm. We're going to Guinness Stout, baby. Even though it's 40 degrees up here in the north, it ain't 40 degrees right now. It might be close. So pop them. If you got them. Smoke them if you want them. If you see, I was saying, look at that chocolate goodness. Should have brought some candy over here. You drink this kind and eat chocolate candy, especially dark. All right. So, Mark, thank you. Where's the keeper of the sacred ball game? Well, I'm still here too, baby. Thank you, James, Derek. Yes, the Hero Twins. Evening to one, Aggie Pride. Hey, what's up, Normalize? Hey, James. Thank you for joining me. Crazy Sarge, my man, and $1,000,000. Always try to smoke for your show, because you best believe I am, baby. Oh, what was I going to share? Oh, did anybody catch? I don't know if people was watching the game tonight, but I just did a video. Remember, the ball hit the top of the backboard with Seth, and it came back down. I heard him call that play. I was moving, so I didn't see it earlier. So I did it again. It showed the old system bouncing it in. but I was waiting to see the replay on the one where they made him miss. Because when I was watching the game, I knew when they made him miss, I knew that Dame Dollar was going to hit the game winner. I could just see the writing on the wall. It's like, yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Now, the charge they called could have been up and down. The other thing I wanted y'all to notice was, did y'all see Spider Mitchell bitching about losing and how other teams treat him? Embiid dropped 40 on him. He had 19 rebounds. But now we've been talking about looking at the teams coming out. The only way the Sixers could win it all is what we saw with the Sixers and the Jazz. If they were to let the Jazz go through, then the Sixers would beat them. Because remember, the Sixers have won it. They won it with Dr. J. They won it with, was it Wilt the Sixer or was he a Warrior? I want to say Wilt was a Sixer when he won it. Yeah, I want to say San Francisco had already moved. Could be wrong. But they have won it before in the history. So that is the only way I could see them winning. If they push the Jazz through, because they're not going to let the Jazz win. Don't be fooled. They will not let the Jazz win. So, Ryan, I tried Guinness beer once. It was okay. The other one is their blonde is okay. This is about the only I'll drink. I don't really like the other stuff. The other stuff comes in a draft. It tastes more watered down. And again, alcohol-wise, I mean, this is 5.6, so it's not terrible, but it's not terribly strong either. You can get stouts that you can get the Scotch stouts that are very strong. You know, and I mean, when they say Scotch, it tastes like the beer tastes like Scotch. So it's okay, yeah. Are there any other flavors for that type of beer? This is a stout. What you'll find is, and I don't know if this is a lot of stouts are like an oatmeal stout. If you don't like dark beer and it's kind of a bitter, it's not the hoppy IPA taste. It's actually if you don't like dark chocolate, you might not like stout beer. It's that chocolate kind of sweet bitterness. And you taste more of the roast. The malts are roasted a little differently. The malts are roasted heavier, so you're going to see more heavier chocolate malts instead of where you see the caramel reddish malts. You're going to see more chocolate malt that goes into making this. So Guinness beer, I mean, yeah, they have the blonde that is decent. It's decent tasting, the blonde, and not overpriced. This stout is heavily priced, but again, this is just a pint, a little extra pint, like 22 ounces. You know, one time in Michigan, we called these double deuces. Used to be $1 for a double deuce, and that's what it is. It's a double deuce. Hey, unique breed. Preston. Gematria accurate spiritually only systematically in this world, normalizing. Hey, well, again, I've talked about the way you find the divinations in the gematria is in the matches for sure. Derek has put quite a system there that touches on the divination. Again, the collecting all the phrases that go with these given words once the matches is quite a hard work that he's done. A few bugs in it the last time, I've tried to use it, but that's the part. That's the matches are really the spirituality in the way it's set up. So can the words have a negative connotation like the same way it's mathematically put up? Yeah, that's possible. Most stories do try to fool you or sway you, and that's why they have the gematria code underneath it to let the true people that can read and hear it. And I'm not saying that the researchers, I'm not saying the people that are the researchers. I'm saying the people that actually set this up for that undercurrent to be read. And so if you looked at how is it spiritually, that is one way that you could look at it as bearing spiritually, as through two different communications. So it's like normal people just reading it is going to get one part, but when you go into the undercurrent of the words, see, that tells a whole nother audience what, that there's something beyond this story. So I like the dude Rhino that was, or I think that's his name. Rhino really, what he does great is he looks at the planets and where the planets are seated, whereas the person who's the story about has been seated when their birthdays. I mean, he of all the cats, he's one of the few cats that really puts it spiritually in a great way, and how he's talking about attacking the spirituality, attacking the divine feminine. And I don't think people understand that. Is when you go after women, you're joining their attack of the divine feminine. And it ain't like the divine feminine needs to be attacked any more, any less. You don't need that. Is one thing none of us need to help this beast with is attack the divine feminine, attack the planet, the real spiritual source this all comes from. So he does it the best to me, because he puts the planets and everything. He shows the whole moving system. And so Rhino is the best. So you listen to Zach's show and just listen to his part. He really gets into it spiritually, the whole spiritual story, and what the aim of it is. Now, as I've said before, the numbers aren't my aim as much. I bring a whole nother part of all the story. So we each have our own parts. So it's not that that's a cat that has gone the full mile of the gematria and the astrology, and showed how all this moves. That cat does. He gets once a week. He only wants to do once a week for one reason or another with Zach. But that's one cat that does put it together. So yeah, there can be accuracy to it, but there's a code again. Just when did you first notice that the NBA players' earbuds? Are you 100% certain about it? You think they've been doing this? I used to figure out which kind of bird I was in the past life. Okay. Hey, what's your opinion on Texas? Can they breathe now? Pun intended. When do you think? I think the big push that woke me up on the earbuds was JR, when J.R. Smith got the rebound. I had been wondering how, like, again, you go on down on the kickoff, why would a guy block in the back? It just some of these just, and again, you have an inconsequential player, and it looks like an inconsequential play, but one do to hold where you don't need to hold. And so some of these plays, I looking at the script, I was like, how do they know? Because you can't, like, it really wouldn't make sense to have a kickoff play and just say, you go hold. Now, I imagine that at one time they could have ran the old system like that. Somebody just do a penalty. If he gets a touchdown, we'll get a call back. But to perfect the system on the fly, on the move, if you tell a person, so-and-so's near you, block him in the back if he turns. Now, we already know there's communication with the quarterback. Now, they say it's cut off after, so they say both sides is cut off. But I don't think, I would say that's not likely. That's not likely that they're cut off. They tell you they're cut off, but I would say let us monitor it to make sure it's really cut off. So I don't think, I think that continues once the play even goes, and they're telling them a little bit. And may tell the lineman, turn around, don't block so-and-so. That could very well be as well. So, but Smith's play made the most sense, like, okay, that shows they have earbuds to me. And when Smith says, ain't we up? Now, again, he could be playing stupid. It looks like his mentality, that's not hard to do. But it appeared like someone said, we got it, dribble it out. Great rebound, we got it, dribble it out. Because of every action, the first initial moments of an action is what you pay attention to. And he clearly says, ain't we up? Now, they could have been reading that to him as well, but it seemed like it was an honest kind of thing. Like you would know if you're up or not. And maybe when he was standing on a block, they was telling him he's up. I don't know. Now I can say I pretty much always, every game I played, I pretty much knew the score of the whole game. I was just thinking about one game. They called my basket off. Guy passed it to me half court. I turned and got it off because I was looking at the clock as I shot it. Because when the ball was in the air, I had plenty of time to catch it because he threw the ball all the way from half. I was like back from half court on my side, but beyond the 3-point line. And no time went off when the ball was in the air because nobody challenged me. And so I know I got it off in time, and they called me out. Can you explain way video you posted? Okay, check it in the Galactic. Checking in at the Galactic patio. Well, thank you. Is that Bron and the Wade one? Yeah. Damn, you really think he has something to do with it? Damn, you really think the Junior had something to do with it? Possibly. Watch Snowfall. They using meth pipes on girls' teeth came out. Yeah, I don't want to. What now? Checking at the is that Bron and the Wade one? I don't know what you mean, Tommy Blue. You really think JR had something to do with it? I mean, I just think his reaction showed to me that they had earbuds. That's the reaction. Yeah, that's absolutely right on Snowfall. You didn't smoke crack by lighting the thing under. No one, that's meth pipes. Crack, you just put in copper and you just blazed away with a lighter. That was the difference between crack and see, these people wasn't basing. They were smoking crack because it was cheaper. But it was interesting. What was interesting was the Wanda girl who they highlighted. You know, they're going to clean her up and put her back out there. But what's interesting is Wanda says something I've been telling y'all all along. Wanda was saying the dope is so cut because remember, dude got cut off. They cut him off. So he can't even re-up. So he just cutting what little bit he had left to keep them dollars stretched so nobody would take over his territory. And she was like, this. What did she say? She said, you giving us something that ain't even dope. You are taking people's money and you are giving us back nothing. That's what she said. Do y'all remember that? She said that. She said, we are giving you money and you are giving us back nothing. And what did I say about the dope in Kalamazoo? It was like that. It was not dope. I don't know what the people were smoking. So, and the Asian chick is becoming more and more Gary Webb. Remember, they found Gary Webb, said Gary Webb committed suicide. Remember, he lost his family and everything over the story. But see, Gary Webb didn't pick up the story till after all of them, they put him in jail. But one beautiful thing about Gary Webb's story was when Omar is playing Freeway Ricky Ross and they showing him who the players was. He's like, what do you mean he works for the DEA? This is who I'm getting this from. How he worked for the DEA and I'm getting it from him. I don't know if y'all remember that. But yeah, so I was talking about when Ryan said about explaining Dwayne Wade and LeBron video about the earbuds. Oh, so what I was trying to show you with the Dwayne Wade video, what I was pointing out was the color, I was saying they already had colored earbuds. So on the Dwayne Wade video, I'm showing you the color of the earbuds. So that's what I'm showing in the Dwayne Wade video, is I'm showing colored earbuds. Now the difference between the ones they're running around in and the TV pack ones, the ones for television, they have a pack that powers the earbud and it powers their speaking as well. It's like you see the coaches running around with them little packs on, especially the coaches that call the plays in. They have in the Super Bowl, we saw him carrying the baby on his chest. So that's what I was just pointing out the color to show people that they already had the colors. The colors is already there. So that's why I was showing that the colored, so it's the same. But just think of it now. Think of it like this too, is right now we got the earbuds, which is basically wireless. They're wireless earbuds. Now, the ones they sell from Beats, it connects, but it's the same thing. You can pretty much just stick them in your ear. So the best in the world is what the players wear. and they go right inside their ears, and they're the same color. So whichever tone the person is, they can match the tone. They can match the tone. So that's what I'm showing in Wade's video. I'm just showing basically the tone. Now in LeBron, it clearly shows his earbud. I give 2 shots and it clearly shows his earbud in. Because when I give the shot of the other side, you see the way his ear is shaped inside. So that's what I'm pointing out. I'm pointing because what caught my attention about that LeBron even making that video and even rewinding it was LeBron did the hidden hand without looking up at the big board. Because earlier in the game, he had his shirt on like this, and he started stretching that shirt out and doing the hidden hand with that shirt. But he was looking up. But when he was on the court, he did not look up to see if the camera was on him, but yet he did the hidden hand ritual. Because he'll do it. What I've noticed is he'll do it 2 or 3 times a game. So I don't know how much is required for him to do, but he does it. I've been noticing, and I don't know if he's waiting in front of, they told him to do it in front of a bigger audience. I don't know. So LeBron had to upgrade earbuds. D Wade had them Agent Smith's earbuds. You noticed that yourself, or did you hear something about it? No, it was just something that I noticed. And Smith made me, I'd always felt though, again, going back through the history of how special, I think my study went back into watching special team players. And like, why would they hold on certain plays where it didn't make sense? The run went away. How did they know? Because again, you're not just telling them to go hold. I mean, that just would be inefficient. That would be just too inefficient. Like, Jim, the hold is on you this time. It would be easier to be able to communicate with them and see the play unfolding and say, well, you clip so-and-so. That would be a much easier, efficient system to me. So I've never heard anybody else mention that. I think I'm original with that. But I've been saying that for a while. I've been definitely saying that for a while. So yeah, that's all. I wouldn't earbuds just fall out during the game. I'm not hating. I mean, super glue. They have super glue, like skin super glue, where they can put something on you, like makeup, like the glue they put on eyebrows. So there's a type of thing that probably can hold it in there. They have that. I know they have that kind of thing. I mean, hell, you can buy some glue. If I slit my finger open, there's glue I got in the house that I can just I'll run that down the middle and I will push my finger back together in that glue. You can buy that shit now. So they've got glue that could hold them in. And I wonder sometimes when they act like they lost the contacts, and you see how close they get to them. I mean, it's a lot of ways that they could, and we could miss if they fall out as well. So, no, I haven't caught any falling out, but pay attention, because one day we might see that. One day we might catch it. So, the good ones, get your ear molded for those. That's a good point, Jay. Yeah, your ears would be molded. They would be the top ones. Wherever they get them would be the top ones made, the same ones that they do on news. Thank you, Edward Bailey. Hey, what's happening, Jay? Thank you for joining me. Very kind words, Edward. Thank you. I hope that happens too. Have you seen the video of the artificial womb with the baby cow inside? It was that's kind of an old video. Did they release a new one? Because the one I knew before was a fairly old video. So if they released a new one, then no, I haven't seen any new. I saw an old one like that. Have you seen Kanye and Kendrick's new song cover? Is Black Cat, especially one with the wings on the emblem, in a white skin colored box on earth with a glare of sun in the background. Very symbolic. No, I haven't. And you said, who's that? Kanye and Kendrick Lamar? Kanye and Kendrick Lamar's album cover. I don't see it. What's it called? Mash It Up? Let me see if they show it on here without playing it. Ah, here we go. I think this is it. And you say, did I see it? It's Black Cat, especially one with the wings on the emblem. Look up in ear monitors. Have you heard of a Space Hurricane? Yeah, I saw that today. Kendrick released a new song. Are you talking about the GM and Dark Fantasy mashup? Or are you talking about the GMK? Kendrick released a new song. Okay, I didn't hear the new song. Yeah, I saw they mentioned that about Space Hurricane. They always coming up with shit. Good Kid Twist Fantasy. Normalizing. Are you talking about the GKMC and Dax Vanity mashup? I don't know. Yeah, because I don't see. See if I can turn it down, turn it on. How did that happen? I turn off all the sound, this fucker comes back on. Wow. Okay. Like, damn. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Man City. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Beauty Confined. What if I wonder if it's in let's see. See if I can find it in here. Kendrick Lamar. It's not in the Apple Music either. Yeah, it's not coming up on Apple. So I'll have to look it up later. What's the name of the song? Kid Twisted. Yeah, it's a space hurricane. Yeah, I heard about the space hurricane. Yeah, I heard that. I saw that earlier. How they was trying to show how that could exist. Or is it something that they're manifesting? Could be something they're manifesting. I'll look on YouTube. I'll catch it on YouTube. Okay. I'll catch it on YouTube. But oh yeah, what about I wanted to stay with the Sixers and the Jazz. Look for that. Oh, but one other thing I did want to show about the NBA. Yeah, it went away. I looked something else up. Let me see if I can find this. Because it was something else came up. Here we go. Now I was kind of wrong, and I'll check myself if I'm wrong. It says NBA viewership across TNT, ESPN, and ABC through MLK Day is up 34% versus comparable to 27 games last year. So last year, the average was 149 per share, and it was 2 million. So it was 150 million last year. It is up 34%. But check this out. Now look at this. Why they kept paying Kobe so much money when he was washed up. This tells you why. NBA ratings have fallen almost 45% the past decade. The only time the NBA could have been considered the most favorite sport in America was peak Michael Jordan. Peak Michael Jordan. But it says right here, the ratings have dropped 45%. And you wonder why more players are coming from Europe. Because they're looking at these numbers and they know it's, and I was saying they was bringing the European players for the live games, but apparently it's for the TV games as well. So 10 years of a declining product. And look at the 10 years, what they was doing. Think of 2010. I think they had just stopped the high school players from coming in. but it was still the second year players. They go 1 year college, go right to the pros. So they saying this product, which Kobe and Shaq had something to do with a little bit of it, and you see why a lot of these dudes hung on, because the product was dying. So we're going back to 2011 now. The product was dying. No, let's go back 10. So the product was dying. That is why all the European players and highlighting the European players. So it's not just butts in the seats, it's butts in the houses. That is why they're bringing them too. Curry's layup was so weird, the ball paused. Yeah, I did a video on that one. Man, it just got all the money. Also, they are bringing in more Spaniards. Yeah, that's kind of a slap in the. Last time they broke record views was back in 2016 during the finals. Yeah, it's what was they saying? What was it? The World Series beat the early season games. The World Series was beating the early season games, or what was the head-to-head matchup? It was some head-to-head matchups when the season started, and the NBA wasn't winning. The NBA was not winning them head-to-head matchups. So I don't know, guys. The NBA is not strong as they make you think. Looks like their product is getting weaker and weaker. So they make more money during those dark secret society things on the side with the players than they do off the views. What are you thinking about his game winner? The thing that I look at, and especially on the swishes, what they did for a lot of years is they kept a dead net. Do y'all remember that aspect? They kept a dead net, and I commented about that because the ball would go through and the net wouldn't even move at all. Do y'all remember that? They had some years where it was just a dead net. Go through, the net wouldn't do nothing. So I was pointing that out. I was like, look at this dead net. So the difference between this year, it's a rocking motion. So you have to run it super slow, and you can kind of see when it goes to swish, it's catching it, and it's kind of doing like this as it guides it through to not pop it out. Because we see they can pop jumpers out in the net. They can pop them back out. So that is one thing that I have noticed the difference this year. We need the 4-point shot. Wow. With basketball, stop being physical. It was going away from that. I mean, look at the fighting that was in basketball, but the fighting led up to Rudy Tomjanovich. And the fight with Rudy Tomjanovich, I mean, Kermit Washington broke his face. Abdul-Jabbar broke his hand on Kent Benson. Kent Benson, like, boom, hit Jabbar. Jabbar turned around, and Jabbar kind of like grabbed his side and just got him through the pitch. I don't think he broke his jaw, but he knocked him out cold. In fights, basketball fights used to be like hockey fights almost. Now, television never loved it, but live games, it was kind of a thing. I mean, look at what I talked about Maurice Stokes, the 1958 Rookie of the Year, what they did to him in 60. I mean, they flipped him on his head. So, yeah, basketball, the physical aspect of it used to always be there. So it did kind of change when Kermit Washington hit Rudy, broke his face. I mean, literally broke the dude's face. But it was like they was fighting, and he rushed in and and devastated his face. Mark Rondai. I want to specifically in which scenarios, which game they decide to keep the magnets turned on the most. Maybe a small market, Charlotte, hemp, taking place in a state where gambling is illegal. I don't know if y'all noticed watching the national televised game, the national game. The national game was the Warriors and Portland, the Trailblazers. There was a point early in the fourth quarter where they went down, I counted 8 times back and forth. Nobody scored. It was like everybody was shooting threes, and nobody literally scored for like 8 times down. That was the beginning of the second half. They went down 8 times, and nobody scored. And I just was watching it, and I always wanted to. like one time ESPN showed where they didn't score almost in a whole quarter, and they showed it sped up. I don't know if it was a college game, what level it was, but I've been wanting to do a video showing that same thing because it was like I was amazed how back and forth they went where nobody scored. It must have been maybe 2.5 minutes nobody scored. It surprised me, but it shows that I'm not saying guys can't make baskets, but some of these shots they just can't make consistently, and they showed it. It kind of showed that period showed. Dame missed one bad in that period, so I don't know if you have to pay attention. I mean, I don't think the state matters. The state matters because what gambling been illegal. Gambling been illegal everywhere until just recently. Matter of fact, most arenas wasn't even set up for kiosks, even though gambling been legal in most states for 2-3 years now. So some stadiums didn't even have the kiosks to do the online gambling. Now, of course, you could have your phone. You could have your phone. It didn't even matter if it's legal in your state or not. You could gamble on your phone right watching the game. So that's been an option that's been out there. I mean, remember what happened? They went after FanDuel. Y'all remember that? They shut FanDuel down. And where's FanDuel at today in DraftKings? Remember they took them to court to shut them down? The feds did? And commercials are showing again, ain't they? FanDuel commercials again. Like, how can you do you remember when Charles Barkley called Anthony Davis, game winner, a Magnum accident, and they all had an awkward silence that gave it away? Yeah, you can't dismiss that. And they try to play it off, right? Well, like what I was showing with Van Pelt, when the one I showed about them kicking Steph's layup out. Because I was about to make a video from the one that dropped in the front. I'm like, we done did that too many times. I was like, I want to look at that miss again. Because even the miss, I was reading or something. I was listening to the game, but I wasn't watching. But I heard them talk about it. So I was like, okay, I'll catch that. And then sure enough, they showed it again. So I did a short video before I came on. So it just shows, do you buy stocks? Yes, I do. I want to see what Ford closed. I bought Ford. My brother suggested that. What did Ford close out today? Okay. Back in June, let me make sure I'm okay. I don't care about that one. Back in June, I started buying Ford at $5, and Ford is up to $12. Ford closed at and it was down 38 cents. So Ford, but right here was showing Ford had always traded about $15, dropped down to $5, and that's when I bought into Ford back when it was $5, and it's back already. GM is generally around 40 something, and then I always trade gold and silver stocks. And then if you got Cash App, you can trade Bitcoin right on Cash App. So people want to dab into Bitcoin. You got Cash App, you can dab into Bitcoin. You ain't got to buy all whatever. What did Bitcoin close at? Because Bitcoin's been like a dang. So Bitcoin had fell down to 36,000 last week. 2 weeks ago, it was up to 59,000. It closed at 49.5 today, down almost $1,000 in the last 12 hours. Ethereum, everything is down. Ethereum's down as well. And I do collect gold and silver. And gold was down $26, 1,700, which wouldn't be a bad time to buy. Silver dropped from $26, 27, 26, 27. So it even dropped 73 cents. So silver was close to 27. Yeah, last week silver was trading at 27. I trade a couple other ones too. Of course, always got a little bit of Nike. I've had Nike for a long time. I trade 3M as well. I think 3M is in there. So yes, I do. That's all I watch in the morning. I watch You only got to watch to know any of the sports the night before. You only got to watch one sports show, and that's it. You watch sports first thing in the morning, they're gonna talk about the same shit all day. I mean, if you trade, you got to watch every day. I mean, you have to watch. You have to see what your stuff is doing. That's like anyone's 401k. You got to see, it's your money. It's your money. Cash App. Yeah, you can trade on Cash. One thing I do not like, Cash App is not FDIC insured. Yeah, you can get that jumped. I just heard about that today. Tommy Blue. I also heard Dame had a deleted tweet, said it's almost like there's magnets. Yeah. Yes, there is. I remember they said that. If you lose money on your account, it gets hacked. Good luck getting your funds back. That is a good point. Bitcoin, yeah, Bitcoin 49.5. It's 49.5. Yeah, Crazy Sarge. It is 49. Yeah, 49,578.1. The market cap is 9 billion 24 347,776,166 and 166. And this is cryptocurrency, top currency. Yeah, so cryptocurrency, new cryptocurrency. Yeah, so that's what I do. It's called BitInfo charts. BitInfo charts is what I read off. What do you think about the dollar bill will crash? I mean, it ain't worth $1 as it is. That's why everything is 99 cents. I mean, you can trade the dollar daily. Remember when Jay-Z and them was all showing videos with people with the euro dollars and saying how everybody was trading the euro dollars? Remember that? So you can trade dollars. Like when I lived in Michigan, it was like I worked with a lot of some Japanese folks, and they was always trading dollars. It was a one bank that they could go trade dollars. And I don't know why they need the yen here, but I remember that was one of the banks that would take all the different kind of currencies. And they dealt with a lot of the yen currencies because there was a lot of people from Japan that worked in Battle Creek. And so you could trade currencies right then and there. What do you think the dollar? So, I mean, it's not like it always fluctuates between 90 and 99 cents. They don't never let it crash too much. The tweet that had been known, I think it was about, I went back and checked this old tweet. Yep. Sports reporters, analyzers, beat writers get paid for what they don't say. Yep. Meek Mill posted a photo of the All-Star game last year with Gematria and said, learn the Fibonacci code and you'll win. Interesting. What do you think about Texas opening up at full capacity, rescinding the mask mandate? I'm just, Robinhood info. I could do it by since it's a bit more accurate. Okay. That's cool. Fox trading go crazy system on currency trading. Forex trading is crazy trading system on currency trading. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. And yeah, I'm just going by the one I follow. What did he say? Call me. Texas opening up. I mean, everybody's gonna open back up. I mean, schools is almost everywhere. Once they was going back to school, that was gonna happen. And I was talking to my girl about this earlier. Me and her was going the Floyd trial is opening up here next week, and they're bringing troops in all over the country. I mean, a lot of people are coming here for this Floyd thing. They are downtown here. Downtown is just opening back up. All the bars and everything. There's no restriction. We still got to wear masks on the outside, but once you go in the bar and in your area, especially if you seated, you take your mask off. So we've been it's never been outdoor wearing masks like they do in Michigan. Michigan, they wear masks everywhere. We don't. Up here, we don't wear masks outside. When you walk into the store, people don't wear their mask until they go in. So we've been kind of practicing that the whole time. Even when it was shut down, this never really shut down other than they closed a lot of jobs. So I've been seeing that. We've been like that up here. So Texas is just doing what they should have been doing. Why keep killing jobs? But again, up here, it's going to get funky because a lot of places are just opening up, and they having the Floyd trial, the Floyd O.J. Simpson trial up here, because it's going to be all that. And they are going to have, is whatever anybody plans, they're going to have troops here. They're bringing extra enforcement. Did anybody catch this? And I'm sorry I didn't bring it up sooner. I heard somebody say it on Craig Facts, and I meant to bring it up. But here, they're paying millions of dollars for influencers. So they have already got trolls that are going to try to do all the narrative coming out of Minneapolis. So whatever is about the trial, so whatever you're about to read, remember, whatever you're about to read about this trial coming up, the city of Minneapolis is paying a group of people $50,000, something like 50,000 positive. They're paying a group of people something like 50,000 per positive or accurate or agenda tweet. It's a couple $1 million worth of money they're paying these influencers. So when you start seeing stuff about the trial, remember that. Here in Indiana, we never shut down as well. We just had guidelines. Yeah, with every stimulus check given out, things like cars and food have gotten more expensive. Inflation is happening daily. Good point, Smoke Joe. Yeah, Ryan, we never really shut down either. Until the governor made people wear masks, people wasn't just wearing. And even now, you see people walking around the malls without masks on. I go to malls down there every day. I am Massachusetts, and most will put on a mask on the outside when approaching me on the sidewalk within 30 feet. Embarrassing. Wow. That's interesting. School shooting in Arkansas. Then they tried to lie for some reason, say the kid who died, but the mother posted that this was not true. That's a good catch. That's a good catch for the research community. Wow, I want to check out that out. They putting it in your face. It's crazy still. 8-win. That cop will probably get off and was the charged 33rd degree murder. I don't think it was, but they're trying to get him for premeditated. They're hitting him with 3 things, so they're gonna probably get him with 1. Yeah, go check that one out. You think Disney will look to buy amusement parks that are now bankrupt for pennies on the dollar? That's a hard call, because the one that's near me, again, what they did to the Mall of America one, I don't see how, like, it may. Okay, so they make everybody pay. So before, you could just walk in there and pay for your child to ride. Now, if you walk in there, you got to pay. Now, with the Mall of America pretty much full blown, a lot of the stores that was closed, they opened back up. And so with everything opening back up, I wonder if they're going to get rid of that restriction. Because again, the way the mall is shaped, the amusement park is kind of the way you would cut through instead of having to walk all the way around. I mean, it's quite a long walk around all the corners. It takes you a few minutes. I mean, you want to walk, it's cool. But the amusement park way was the way to cut through. So if you wanted to go from one side to the other without having to walk all the way around, you'd cut through the amusement park where they cut all that off. And if you go to the amusement park, you got to pay. So you got to pay. Do you think this? So it's possible. Oh, and also we have an amusement park close to me. I mean, fairly big amusement park close to me. So it's not just the one at the Mall of America. It's another one. And that one's opening up. They said they're hiring 2,000 people. So they're opening up soon as the weather breaks. And they stay open until through Halloween because they have the scare out there. That's one of their biggest events of the year, is the scare, the days leading up to Halloween, you know, and they dress up and you can ride, and they turn all the lights. Do you know about a Damian Lillard tweet is up from 17? Someone asked if the NBA is rigged, and he said, unless the Magnus making the shots go in. Wow. Yeah, they've been talking about that. No, I didn't know about that. Going to Google and type exactly Dillard Magnus tweet. Okay. Have you ever previous of Asian B-ball movie where he's dating? Yeah, I've been seeing that commercial, and I didn't know Pop Smoke was in that movie. So that's how they do. They kill these mugs and then they release the movie they in. But okay, think of this psyop. And this shows you the movie is a psyop. Oh, there it is. But this shows you that the movie is a psyop. So remember what we've been seeing lately? Supposedly brothers pushing over old Asian ladies and attacking ladies. And now they got the movie about Asian people. And the movie is going to end up having an Asian and a sister relationship. They've been pushing that thing in Africa. They've been pushing everybody being with sisters in America now. It's like all of them want to be with sisters. It's like sisters is the seed of the world, it seems like. But you see the whole thing. But let's be honest. You see this, they pushing the brothers with it too, but they pushing everybody. They're pushing all kinds of loves and family as a psyop. They're pushing every possibility to us. And children see that. Now, who are they to decide what children should see? But this is the way the commercials are going now. But that's just interesting that they put that kind of movie out there. Despite all the supposed that the brothers is messing with those folks, when we know it ain't really true. It might be some isolated incidents, but when you start saying that it's happening all over, then it's some bogus shit. I like the nicotine. I had to retweet it, deleted it now. I screenshotted it. Good idea. I really didn't want to know why someone on this circle hasn't taken it down to discrediting. There's some stuff they want to put out there again for to stop the research people. That's all. It's just to try to throw off the research people. And it's like quantum of science says one thing that it's like, why keep going down every rabbit hole? It's like I talk about all the research I did about the Kennedy stuff for years when I was young. Matter of fact, I imagine if I would have went to school and taken a class, I probably could have wrote a paper on it. I put so much research in it. So this is the thing. It's like for the research community, what they want to do is they want to keep throwing stuff at you. Is it worth researching? And now, if you look at liberals, their biggest thing is their fallback word is that must be some Q stuff. And it's like there's not one time I sat and just read anything that came from this cat. It's like I looked at something like, that guy really has something there. I've got to use his work. Like, what does that dude? You don't know who this motherfucker is. Now, people trying to say about the Kennedy shit, I never bought into that. I think some of their deaths in the family was fake deaths, and these cats is doing something else. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, a lot of this stuff. Like even the Kennedy giving the daughter who is just slow. She wasn't even retarded or nothing. She was just slow. And because she was starting to fuck, and really you cut her brain out, you give her lobotomy? And that's really what kind of person you are? Because you can't control her life, you scrape her brain out? Like it wasn't papers out back then that said if you scrape these motherfuckers' brain out, they probably gonna just sit there for the next 70, 80 years. Were they that cold of people? I mean, what motherfucker in given history will sit there and be like, well, let me tell you, Mr. Kennedy, your daughter's going to be a hoe if you don't let me scrape her brain out. I'll just scrape it a little bit and she'll quit being a hoe. And old Joe said, well, you know what? That's what I'm looking for. Whatever you can do to make her quit being a hoe, that's what it will go. And then when she just sat there for the next 70 years, and then they show the movies, he's upset, and then his wife never gets over it. I mean, like the wife wouldn't be kicking and screaming. She wouldn't have flung herself to her daughter's body. Like, what the fuck is you doing? Really? This, because she's being a hoe? You scrape her brain out. But that's what they do. That's supposedly what was done to her. As far as Bobby being killed, no, JFK wasn't killed. There ain't nothing happened to that mug. That mug is Jimmy Carter. He alive and well. You watch that bullshit, black and white soap opera style stuff. There's no way those people thought to go to court in the Kennedy thing. It's no way. It is no way any of these people that are raised to go to court all of a sudden just, president don't get killed every day. We just throw out all the rules. Everybody gets to handle the gun. Even back then, they would have put the shit in a bag. Nobody else. You'd never take the suspect in front of and give a fucking interview, and you expect a trial. Even back then, they didn't operate like that. Kurt Cobain's death. It was suicide or murder. Mr. T, he was murdered. I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. They did what kind of heroin that was in him and how much. There was no way he could have been physically able to shoot himself, the amount of heroin in his system. He just couldn't have done it. There was the amount of heroin found in his system that didn't OD. Remember, he didn't die from ODing. But the amount of heroin, it would have been impossible for him to have pulled the trigger. He would have been dreaming. I mean, heroin is the great dream. So he definitely got killed. Same with Janis Joplin. The heroin, she wouldn't have been able to handle the heroin. She would have known better. She would have known better by herself. What I'm saying is they just putting it out in our face. It was 12:30 a.m. Wow. Looked at the Boulay fraternity stuff. Yeah, it is crazy. It is very crazy. Sister Girl versus Trump 224. That's kind of what it looks like. It's no way Biden runs again. It's no way Biden runs again. Anyways, I'm gonna go to bed. Okay, Tommy, thank you for staying up. I know it's late. I think that he was murdered, but I wouldn't be surprised if he commits suicide later on. Good point. Elvis Presley autopsy sealed until 2027. It was so many, like Elvis had came to Kalamazoo, and again, Memphis from Kalamazoo ain't a terribly long trip. I think it's about from Kalamazoo to Atlanta is 12 hours, and Memphis, I don't think as far as Atlanta. So he was always there. And then there was people saying they saw him there more than once. There was more than one story of an Elvis sighting in Kalamazoo. The first story after a year or two after he died, the first story came in Kalamazoo that somebody saw him at Burger King. Or no, Burger Chef. There was a Burger Chef on the east side of Kalamazoo, and somebody said big motherfucker was in there. Because, Elvis had a big belly. When I saw him, he was a big belly karate trying mug that was putting on the hits. He wasn't singing. He wasn't singing. He was putting on the hits. But he put on a good show. He had a good band, good backup singers. I mean, the show was a show. But he was a big belly dude. But yeah, have a good night, Tommy Blue. Thank you so much for joining me. Kent Bazemore committed 3 fouls in 20 seconds. He got yeah. He's playing his part out there. He's playing his part. Now I'll tell you who's playing well quietly is Wiggins. Wiggins is becoming pretty consistent, and they let Draymond play good defense still, and he pushes and he does it. Draymond takes a little stress off of Steph, where he doesn't have to handle the ball all the time because it wears you out. It wears you out bringing the ball up every time. It's easier to play off guard to be a scorer. Unless you James Harden and you taking 80 shots. This is random, but do you think the satanic? They let a lot of the imagery, but almost all sports has that kind of imagery, especially with tattoos. So you can catch some of the imagery. I would say you see the imagery of the tattoos on the people more often than you do other sports because there's constant close-ups. The cameras are so that's to me how it's portrayed in wrestling is through the tattoos. Right now, they're trying to make so much money off people paying for the spaces during the live events that now the people's logos, each star has their own logo. They do pump that up. And of course, we see all kind of messages in the logo. So yes, we will see it on that. So kind of not totally, but somewhat. Be consistent, you mean compliant. Add too much heroin in the system. I take prescription opioids, and I can kind of imagine how heroin feels. So no doubt I'll be able to shoot myself with that much. I doubt. Yeah. I mean, if it's really good, you want to nod. That's how people when they OD is because they just nod away, and they have a heart attack because they nod away instead of what do they show when do people OD with heroin? Put them in water, keep them up, keep them alert. Don't go because you're basically what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a coma from the heroin. And it's a coma that, again, without the Nurcon, you can't come back from. But Nurcon hits you with adrenaline and it snaps you out of it. It will snap you out of it. Mr. T, I suggest taking Kratom instead unless your pain is so severe, in which cases Kratom can still help you. That's a good point. I've been looking more and more because I know like if I stop taking Tramadol, I'm going to have to transfer or transition into something like that. You can't just stop taking Tramadol. You just can't. When I first started taking it, I didn't understand why if I went 3 or 4 days to go get it refilled, I was feeling so. If you're talking about restless leg syndrome, that's a fact. And I only take Tramadol. And I really, unless I'm in a lot of pain, taking 2 at one time is way too much for me. It'll give me a lot of head pressure. But 1 a day, and I'm supposed to take 3 a day. And it doesn't always call for that. Some days, yes. Some days the nerve pain gets so bad. So, Sleepy Joe thinks he's Frank Lucas saying 1 million needles a day. That is a good one. That is a good one. That's one of the best ones I've heard. Oh, that is a good one. I like that. That is a good one. And that's it. It's people don't realize this shot, there's no coming back from it. Once you've taken it and whatever happens has happened. But it's like once you take it, it's just no coming back from it. It's no coming back from it at all. So that is funny. That is very funny. That's the good one of tonight. That is very funny. That is very funny. And I like to have fun on here, guys. It's no one way to be. It's no one way to be. People are boring if they just come off it one way, one thing in one bag. Your bag should have a lot in it. Your bag should have a lot in it. And everybody does their own thing. For the research community, that's what it is. It's what do you research? And what are you good at researching? And not only are you good researching, can you relate it to the people? Can you relate your research to the people? You can study Einstein, but you can't really look up a lot and say Einstein related his works to the people where the people understood. And one of the best people in history of doing the research and then relating to people is Manly Hall. Manly Hall, be a 33-degree Mason or not, Manly Hall is able to relate the research. And even Buddy Hemmett, and Buddy Hemmett's younger than me. I think Buddy Hemmett's only 50. 51, something like that. He's not old as me, but he was able to relate the information. Now he did do an African slant. You have to be honest. He did an African slant, but on a lot of other things, he just gave you the straight info. And that's how you have to be. You have to be able to relate your research to people. Because if you can't relate the research and you are the person that's putting it out, it's like Wes Paneri doesn't really put any of his research out as far as him talking about it. I know I'm the only brother that gives West any kind of credence. There used to be two goofy dudes that was kind of relating this kind of work. They were heavy on the Anunnaki stuff. uh, I can send you some, Creighton, for free. I see what kind of text me. Oh, okay. Because yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to transition off of it. Oh, let me tell you what I did do last night, though. What I did do last night. You might want to erase this after I copy it. 271 7060. Oh, let me tell you what I got last night. I got a note from my Russian cat, and my Russian cat told me that his powder was available, and so I know I probably won't get this stuff until May. I'm not tripping, but I ordered. I want to get you guys hip to this shit. Purchases. Here we go. Okay, I ordered some more shungite powder. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some CBD lotion, and I'm going to take some of this shungite powder and mix it with the CBD lotion. And you'll be able to get shungite more to the direct spot of the pain. And so I really look forward to that. And what I'm really going to do is really concentrate on putting it on people's brain stems. So I'm really going to concentrate on myself and a few elderly. But the other thing, and Bomber hit me to this, but it's another, I'm going to get this right. It's another, let me see this. It's another, and I only bought a little bit of it here we go. But this stuff is called Pure Shilajit, is how you say it. And it's Shilajit. It's a soft resin, extremely potent. And the way Bomber and them was describing it, for people that really can experiment what shungite can do. This chemical does something very similar. And so it is a ferric acid trace mineral food supplement. The critical advantage that Shilajit is 100% naturally harvested from deep inside Himalayan rocks. This freshest of all is packed right after it's extracted. Okay, and some of the things is it can boost brain function, enhance potency and effectiveness of other nutrients, slow down aging, repair, regenerative, and restore cells, regulate and supercharge immune system, balance blood sugar, cleanse and neutralize, remove toxins, improve circulations, and help cell life. And so I only bought. I'm gonna buy more, but I only bought this is only let's see. I bought 200 milliliters. So, and it's some little sticky shit. But now, when I get the shungite powder, I'm going to mix them all three together and really working on the brain stem using both chemicals. Now, I'm going to put it in my coffee as well, but I'm also, for other people, I'm looking to put it together and then put it on their brain stems. So, yes, I'll let you know how it's going. Yeah, I'm about to copy. Yeah. Who is deleting the comments? Somebody put their numbers in. I am from Connecticut, home of the WWE. Let's see. And yes, they are best believers. Okay, you're saying you need to go on Alex Jones. That's funny. Good night. Thank you, Mark, for joining me. Good night. I know it's late. Who is Google moderating team? They just deleted my comment. I don't know, because almost everybody in here should be moderators. Not too many people that aren't the moderators. Time Lord, I don't know. It's not me. It's not me. How is it correctly spelled? I'll write it out. I'm not the greatest speller, but it's called S-H-I-L-A-J-I-T. Hilajit. That just shows you how well I can spell Shilajit, and this is in the resin form. It's many different ways you can get it resin. So I'm not trying to be a scientist or anything, but I'm going to practice with this. And so I paid $25 for what I'm getting. So I'll have this next week. Yeah, I'll have this next week. So I will have this next week. So yeah. So I don't know, Jeffrey. I haven't deleted any comments in the live stream. Yep, Shilajit resin. But look over. But what I liked about it is you can put it on your skin. And that's why I'm going to get some CBD lotion. And then when the other stuff comes, because it's going to take me a minute to get the Russian stuff. I already know. Sorry. So I'm about to order a bunch from him. I'm just going to time it out. But I'm going to get the lotion this time. I'm going to get a couple of things. I'm going to paint a little bit of panels, some black panels with some of this resin too, because you can make a panel that will cut off waves from you. What is it? EMF waves that can cut it off too. Hey, Lorenzo, thank you for joining me. And so I'm going to use it a couple different ways. And once I do get it together. And then tomorrow I might go to the mound. I might go out to the mound. So I might do a live from the mound tomorrow. We're supposed to have some beautiful weather. It was, right now it was 48. I went and took my girl out. And then we walked about, I didn't even check how much I walked yesterday. But it's the weather's, even right now, the weather it's 36 degrees. So tomorrow, and I think everybody across the nation is getting this. It's going to be 50 tomorrow. No, it's 50. It got a high of 50 today. Tomorrow's going to be 45, 46 on Friday, 48 on Saturday, 55 on Sunday, 57 Monday. We might get some snow, but it's going to be 60 on next Tuesday. So I think I'm going to drive down to the mounds tomorrow. If I get up early enough. Maybe because it's about 45 minutes. The mounds are about 45 minutes away. Their mound is only like one group of mound. And so I'm going to go down there and check it out. So if I do that tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to screenshot it for you. Okay, Jeffrey, I'm sorry somebody's messing with you because it's only moderators in here. Please go live from the mountains. That would be awesome. It's not the mountains, it's the mounds. We have a burial mound. There's no mountains. I live in Minnesota, baby. Ain't no mountains in Minnesota. It's flat as hell. Texas weather is never constant since I've been alive. Wow. But I bet you, like you were saying, I think you said before, you hadn't seen snow like you saw. So that shit was artificial. And I don't know if I go for all the snow don't melt and shit. They've been doing that shit for years. They've been saying that for years. That the snow won't melt. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna go to the old burial mounds. As I said before, I've said many times, the most burial mounds ever in the history of Americas was in Wisconsin, per the first per mile, and they destroyed. It's again, the numbers of mounds in Wisconsin is they destroyed almost all of them, and that's my problem with a lot of this mud flood talk too, because they try to show you proof that they're digging out some stuff when in fact what they're showing you is they're destroying mounds. That's what you have to understand is Eastern North America was nothing but mounds. And you had all the pyramids down there that's East St. Louis now, Choctaw. It was 5 square miles of pyramids in every direction. It was the biggest pyramid complex ever found in the world. Is in the Americas. I'm going to repeat that. The biggest complex of pyramids ever found was Choctaw. 5 square miles. I'm talking about 5 miles in every direction of pyramids, which they destroyed almost all of them. I knew this crazy lady on Facebook that lived in that area. She lived within the 5 miles. So she lived on old pyramid areas. Oh, yeah. Let me tear the roof off the sucker. Okay. No, a lot of motherfuckers don't like hearing this shit, but I'm gonna break this shit out. Yeah. I don't know if the picture would show too good. Ah, this is in my other. Okay, this is in my other shit. It shouldn't be. It should be there. Let's see. Should be here. Let me see. Ah, here we go, guys. I want to see if I can show this picture. You see what that looks like? That shows good enough, doesn't it, everybody? You can see what that looks like, right? Make sure everybody. You see that picture there? That is jade. That is a jade mask. Let me read the whole story to y'all. And they knew this shit. So this is the Pyramid of the Sun. They don't know who the fuck lived there. Okay, let me try to read it perfectly. So 1930s, they dug a 380-foot long tunnel in the Pyramid of the Sun. They discovered a cache of rare treasures, pottery, bones, pieces of obsidian, 3 serpentine human figures. And listen to this now. Okay, the mask is serpentine. Excuse me, the mask is serpentine. Serpentine mask. The green mask is particularly interesting because at the time of discovery, it was the only mask of its kind to be found in the ritual context in Teotihuacan, and that is where the big pyramid structure that the Aztecs they found. Who made serpentine mask, everyone? They don't want to say it. They don't want to say it, but this shit shows the Omen built that shit. That shit shows the Omen built the ground layer. That's what the article says. The ground layer at the Pyramid of the Sun. But see, they don't want to say that it's Omen. But the time period is 2,000 years ago. That is clearly the Omen style mask. They may not want to say it, but I'm going to say it. So we see who used that shit. We see who once had a complex there. That it was so old, it was older than the Mayans didn't even fuck with it. It was so old. But it shows it was Omen. That the Omen built that. And again, this picture right there, this Mayan king was trained in the Omen jaws and also to Cataquato. So it's the Omen merging with the Mayan, and he got all the science. That's why he's one of the baddest motherfuckers to ever live. The mask with the same mask. There you go. Where'd you think they got that idea from? Yep, Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey. And it's, I have that big head I showed the other day of jade. It's too heavy to wear. It's heavy enough just to wear this. I'm so used to this, I don't really feel the weight. But when I wear this, I feel the weight. It's heavy. This is, especially when I'm leaning up like this a lot. But it just shows you, again, we see the Omen culture there. Old, don't know what happened to it. Same with the Omens. Old they don't know what happened. They can't say when they disappeared. They can't even tell you when the Mayans disappeared. But what I've said before is there's part of the culture that went up and got away from these mugs. Yeah, it was a wooden mask. And I think it had Voodoo. I think it was a little bit of Voodoo. That mask was based off Loki, the trickster. Yeah. I think, it was kind of, it has some Voodoo kind of to get it. Yeah, but Loki, the trickster energy. Yep. Thank you for that, Crazy Sarge. So they didn't say it, but they don't have to say it. If you are a researcher, see, I'm not a truther. I am a researcher. I'm a hardcore researcher. So truth comes through your research. And truth can have a slant. Let's be honest, because there's truths that some of these cops supposedly shot people and got off. Now the law is supposed to be the truth, right? It's like if a cop stops you and you looking and you only going 50 and he stop you, his truth is what wins the day. If you sitting with a reporter, you watch a dude get killed and the reporter reports straight piece of metal hit the guy when he was standing there. I didn't see the dude get shot. So you both have a point of view of truth. Now, you know his truth is slanted, but only you know it. So how is it really truth? So truth can have a slant because it can be whose truth it is and where the point of view is in the person's aim. Because truth can be attached to motherfucking spells, and people can use a spell on a type of truth on you. So I'm just an old school reporter. I research. I'm more of a researcher. Conscious Daughter, thank you for joining me. You know what would be crazy if instead of Jade it was Greed Obsidian. I mean, they use that as well. They used obsidian. If you looked at a lot of the old weapons was obsidian. You know, obsidian that would cut through anything. And that's the thing when you look at the battles when the Spanish came. The Spanish had cannons. The cannons were more effective than their guns. I mean, these when Cortez and them came, we talking about crude ass guns that you had to have this thing you set it on. It only had one shot. But the cannons were more effective. But again, the numbers and how were they making like they just took enough cannonball and enough powder. You know how hard it is to keep powder dry. And then once they took it on land, I mean, they should have been attacked constantly. They should have been attacked constantly. So we know history was manipulated. But Conscious Daughter, thank you for joining. You say truths can have spells? Yeah. I mean, there can be a spell put into certain truths. Again, truth can come from whose viewpoint. From whose viewpoint? The OJ trial was nothing but TV, but it was portrayed as truth. So to Europeans, it appeared that they was wronged. To black folks, they appeared that they was finally right. So where was the truth? Where was the truth? So we had two sets of truths being put as a spell. Black folks feel justified because we finally got a L. Europeans felt wronged because the system they set up worked for somebody with money. So you had the same set of truths here, but all of it was a spell. I had something else to say, but I forgot. The green obsidian is only available in Central America, so only three pit mines found. Okay, I see your point. Okay, I see your point. Because this skull has a little bit of rainbow. But my omen head, that's right, my omen head is a sheen. It is rainbow obsidian. Like this is obsidian, but this is obsidian from China. Now I think my big mirror came from Mexico, the one that's only shown on one side. But I know I can get other obsidian mirrors done on both sides. And I probably should do some more mirror work. Probably should. And I should send that mirror to Crazy Sarge. I just forget. Christopher Columbus found us and is his story. And yeah, his real name. Damn. I wanted to read that shit. But his real name, again, Christopher Columbus is a title. But I found, okay, now this book of Isabella says he's born in Geneva. But I have found other things that say he's born in Portugal. So I found it very interesting, that book, that I did see the name El Zagal, who she bought the Americas from, or bought a Grenada from. Because what they did with Zara Gel is they discounted the old king, the old Emirates, and they made an agreement and gave it everything to El Zagal, and then they bought it from him. So this book talks a little bit about that. So, but it just went bonkers. Lies for generations. That skull didn't like cameras. Oh, didn't it? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, fucking problem here. They even tried to delete the whole comment so I wouldn't screenshot it. But these fuckers, I don't know who's doing it, Jeffrey. It just went bonkers. Wow. American Amigo Von. I just sent you the picture of the messenger time, Lord. These fuckers sought me out now above everyone. Only chat. I am censored. Hey, Captain America. Okay. Oh, yeah. Some moderator is watching Jeffrey shit off. Yep. It doesn't tell. It says, oh, Google moderating team. What? Why don't you shut that door?
Yeah, I'm going right back now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this says the Google team. I don't know who that is. Because, I was on Craig Facts yesterday, and somebody was erasing my shit. And one of them was a joke. I told a Richard Pryor joke. And
Where's my stuff at?
in the closet there.
Which one?
Closet right there. Thank you for the McDonald's pancakes and the hockey puck sausage.
Where?
Thank you.
It's in here?
Yeah. Thank you for bringing them. You finally was thoughtful.
Oh.
Look to the far right. The right. Your other right.
Oh. You're tweaking.
You're tweaking.
Why was it in there?
Your mama's a tweak. Why is your mama in the closet?
I'm a tweak.
Don't tell people your mama's in the closet. So it ain't me, Jeffrey, and I don't know who's doing it. Oh yeah, it's probably Google, because some people. I told a Richard Pryor joke on Craig Facts, and somebody deleted my Richard Pryor joke. And then I also said that Catholics and Christians have killed the most people in the world, and they definitely deleted that. So yeah, I think Google is. Did you see the Dame game winner? Yeah, I did. I saw it. Woke. I saw it. Yeah, it'll be Google on YouTube itself, since a moderator can't mod another moderator. That's what I thought. Yeah, moderator can't mod another moderator. Yeah, so it's Google. So I'm not digging what they do. It took them like 3 days to get the pancakes. At least it didn't take him 18 years. There you go. So when I get done, what I'm going to do is eat McDonald's pancakes and delicious hockey puck sausage. And I don't even really eat pork like that, but can't resist hockey puck sausage. See, you put it all together. You take the potato and you stuff it inside the pancake. You take the hockey puck sausage, you stuff it inside the pancake. You take the 3 pancakes and you mash them all together and you eat them like a sandwich. And you have a pancake, hockey puck sausage, potato sandwich. That's how we eat it. Yes, Google. It took them like, it never you. I'm just saying, it's crazy how we can't live. And it's the thing is interesting. Like when they took my other channel down, Dem had only been in power. So, and this is the funny thing. So they paid me $200 or $175. They paid me $175. And then 3 days after Sister Girl and Slow Joe was in, they removed the channel. So tell me that makes sense. You just made 30% of whatever I made to give me 175. And you remove our partnership for unknown reasons, other than saying I am going against community guidelines. Now let's remember, it is ladies on YouTube that still show like pretty much body parts. Porn is all around. Your own system says people have to have 3 strikes. You have to be shown the violation. So you saying at one time I had 1 million motherfuckers saying I violated. But you know what? It ain't no thing. All but 2 weeks is backed up. So Google, this shit is out there. All the sports shit I did, once it was on TV like that, you can find it the fuck again. So I ain't worried. I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping. What they say, do it again. If you want revenge, the next time you make breakfast, lunch, or dinner, cook your son the food he doesn't like. He doesn't like spaghetti. So a large McGriddle, basically, Ryan, you said it. It's a large McGriddle. They don't even do the McGriddles, but it's a large one. Yes. My younger, well, when they were younger, that's how I copied them. That's how they used to eat them. Matter of fact, my son is 6'6". That's how he always ate them. He's the one that started that. We like got to watching him, and next thing you know, we was doing it. That's how he just started doing it. One day he just like made a little sandwich. So we like threw the syrup down. We slapped it together. We all copied him, and we've been eating it like that. My subs comments, conscious daughter, they did that to you too. Okay. Let me write that. All right, I'll get into that. Let's see. I want to rap about something, brother, young brother. You know, I like Corey because of his jokes and the comedies. I like comedians. I really like Darlene, to be honest. I like Darlene more than I like them motherfuckers. I far like watching Darlene better than them. But they had the young brother Stevie J on there. And what's interesting, the first time he had Stevie J on there, Stevie J admitted to being a Crypt, a Muslim, and a Mason. This time he left off the Mason part, which I thought was interesting. But I bring his name up because what he said to them makes so much sense and how I be feeling too. And like some people be asking me to talk about shit. And what he said was when it came to the gossiping and the local popular thing, it was like there's so much more serious shit. And again, him being from South Central and those areas, he was just saying just the roughness it took for him just to get there unscathed. But his point was he didn't have time for stupid shit. And I know a lot of people ask me why I don't do videos on some other stuff, but that's be the point. It's like a lot of shit to me is just stupid shit. Like to watch a channel, a motherfucker just talk shit about rappers. I don't give a fuck about rappers that much to just watch that shit. It's a lot of shit I don't give a fuck about. And it's just because the shit is just from the simplest kind of shit. Let me tell you today, this is the kind of motherfuckers I like being around. I'm with my woman today, and my woman started hitting me with some 5D stuff. And it's like, you know, when I talk about flat plane, I have to bring this out because I can't talk about it without being in it. I have to bring this out and clarify in the ones that can phase, because you motherfuckers should be able to phase. Now, come on. But it was like the moment she said that, she said, well, what do you think about 4D and 5D? And I phased with her into that shit. And I don't know, I got to call her to see if she picked that up. But it was like, okay, I need to talk to you like this. And so I phased right in her. And I know she didn't notice, but I felt it because I was sitting here and I just felt myself phase over so I could really hear. I'm like, okay, this is what you want? Okay, I can hear you now. And I'm not saying that I'm special, that we all can't have that power, but I'm saying to hear people, you gotta kind of put yourself where they're at in some way. But these are the intelligent things I want to hear. Now, I'll say more. It's hard to imagine some of this dimensional shit because I can't tell you anything that you would really understand if I say beyond 5D. It is other than more of the mind. That is kind of right. But even that only goes so far. And then what conceptual, once you go beyond mind, what conceptions is left for most people to understand? I'd just be talking. You wouldn't be fucking hearing me. And of course, as I talked to her, I like fourth dimension is some look at it as a dimension of time, where time has its own dimension. But the way time would also need illusion to have solidness. Because again, Hanukkah needs a motherfucker to move, to count it. So understand that. It's like, to me, a lot of like even the thing of rappers is sad and all the rappers getting killed. But when it basically comes down to my knowing and what I want to know and what I want to hear, I don't really want to hear about them. I love the music. A lot of these cats, that got killed, I got their music and didn't know. I just love pop. I love new music because it's refreshing. And new music comes out every day. That's what I love about it. I was like, there is something every day that can move my kundalini. There is something every day from our music that we can rise. They can make us rise. Oh, go ahead, Jeffrey. I'm sorry. I want to phase in some coochie. I feel you. No disrespect. I'm just playing. I am not old enough. I can still run a 4.2. You can't run no 4.2. You can still run a 4.2 at 40 years old. Man, I'd pay to see that. Go ahead, ask me, Jeffrey. I don't like enchiladas because of high school. 3 guys had a table by themselves. Next to my table, about 15 minutes after I got my food, I had barely ate 1/3 of the enchilada. They sat down. They was talking about how the enchiladas was horrible. And one of them said, "What's in this white stuff?" I almost threw up, no doubt. Come on, Jeffrey. You could ask me your question. Oh, I want y'all to see. Do y'all like the Lurkenware? Oh, look at this shit. Let me show you the back of this shit. This shit is so fucking fresh. Good friends, bad times. Oh, I don't know if y'all can see that shit. And I wanted to point out this hat. I don't know if y'all noticed Fred Hampton, the real Fred Hampton, always wore, these is called boonie hats for boonie rats. But actually, this kind of hat in Vietnam was only worn by the CIA. So if you saw a dude wearing this kind of like John Wayne does a movie in the 60s, they all wearing this print. Normal squads didn't wear this print. This was the print that the CIA wore. So this is an actual full reproduction of those Vietnam type of hats. When I used to play baseball in the 80s or softball with the teams, I used to wear a bigger version of this. And so this is that tiger stripe that showed the CIA involvement. I never, you never ate him, Mr. T. That's funny. Interesting on time needs illusion and kundalini for me to make my arms shake sometimes. Interesting. I heard that this AI system is trying to go from 3D all the way up, corrupting everything like Agent Smith did in the last Matrix. But that's then the mirror to mind. I mean, our whole system comes off the mirror to mind. I mean, this is the mirror to mind with you. That's how well the mirror to mind has come. I mean, all this illusion is from the AI. All of it. Everything you think you feel comes from it. More so than ever. I don't even know. Because I'm my age, I watched this thing develop. Again, I went from color TV, from black and white TV, watching 1950 reruns of Superman, I Love Lucy, and all that kind of shit, to Batman and the Green Hornet, Barnabas Collins and shit. What is it called? Dark Shadows. I'm old enough to remember Dark Shadows. It was a vampire soap opera. So I've watched this thing. Develop. Where at one time this thing needed a whole damn building to house it. And now we all carry it. So we live in a type of simulation illusion because the real universe can't, the real universe is going to go straight forward. It ain't going to do all these other variations. Only the illusion needs that. The real universe and natural space just moves, expands, it just moves. Contracts at times, but never big bangs. There's no there's no, what do they call it? Intelligent design. The intelligent design comes from the goddamn machine. That's the God they're talking about. That's intelligent design, the me or the my. This thing that was brought here on a ship. That Balamar Duke made some kind of agreement, and that is what we live on. That's why I know when I break through to the real shit, because it's the same blue skies as it should be. But it don't be this blue sky, look outside. It be something else. And I'm sitting in a totally dark room with my eyes fucking, whatever you call the shit, over my eyes. And how am I getting through the dark to clear blue skies? You did. Need everybody to put I dig in the comments. I'll get into that some other time. What is Aeon entity also? Aeon? I don't know. But if this AI stopped, how long before it would corrupt everything like the Borg? Is this basically archons? What did you break through? You talking about the real world? I'll get to that. But what if AI isn't stopped? How long is it? Shit, there ain't no stopping this thing, man. The only way we can beat this thing is everyone being truly, it ain't even conscience. It is just seeing the fakeness. So I don't know. I don't know if there's any way we could ever beat this thing, y'all. I don't know. It can be beat on an individual basis, it look like. I don't think there's going to be no group beating it, you know. And that's what I hope me and my girl can do. We can get together and we hold hands and we break through together and we can carry our families with us. But I don't know, just breaking everybody of it. I don't see that at all. Aeon entity. I don't know, Jeffrey. I dig. I dig. Well, thank you, TWTL. Thank you, Jay. Just like a bat, I can dig it. Aquaman to Batman, Justice League. I can dig it. The clouds. To me, everything looks fake. Yeah, all of it's fake. But again, when you get deeply into meditating, you come up to what is basically a grid like the Matrix. You know, that shit was coming down in the Matrix and they was reading codes. When you get through the breaking, you come across something like that. It ain't going to be the same codes for everybody. When I talk about my mother stone, after looking at it 1 week and say, I'll be back. If you're here next week, I will come back and get you. And went back and got it. And after cleaning it off, the first time I held that mug, it just plastered me right up to that grid. And then you, like when the Matrix, when he touched what looks like, what do you call that shit? Mercury. You know, it looks like he touches the mirror and turns into Mercury. You just bust through that shit. And when you bust through, it's like the clearest, clear sky. Now, I seem to be able to hold that the least because I do have a guide. And when I go into the Virgin world, that's similar, very similar. It's some of the similar kind of things that I see. But it's a clarity. And even if you may only get just visions of it, when you're sitting there, there's a clarity that you get that is just like another blue world. That you seem to come upon because you're vibrating high enough to visit. And sometimes it's not as long. Sometimes when I'm in it, it's not very long. Out of all the things, because I can get moments and hold on to moments. I seem to have that ability. The moment comes and I can seem to just grab it a little longer than most. But some of those moments, I try to use the same ability. And sometimes the moments are great, sometimes they're not. They're just fleeting. Like vision is fleeting. Vision, a vision, you fully go wherever the vision takes you. Now, how much you remember is never, that's what you have to work on. What kind of crystal or what herb that you can use that will help you remember where the vision showed you. Because again, visions, you are fully there. So that's all. That's all what I think. I'm guessing clouds, days are racing, chemtrails, planets all day. Have you heard of James Lamb Lash and his talks about archons and how they created the prison planet on Earth? John Lamb Lash, my fault. Maybe. I think a little bit. Maybe. But ain't nothing. It's still the same. You're still going to come into the me or the mind, no matter what system. That is the overriding thing that rules us amongst all things. So the AI has been in charge. It created all this. And then it fooled us into thinking that man discovered and made all this shit. And I thank American gods, because I had not thought about the telephone being a technology god. I never thought about it. But for a long goddamn time, it really was. It really was. Like in my lifetime, do you know what, having just a goddamn phone in my room? Same number, but the phone in my room. And everybody that knows parents and how teenagers are, and I know that's one thing that really changed with teenagers. Now they can FaceTime or they can look at each other on the computers. But getting the phone in my room, and everybody knows, most parents, you're sitting with the one you're with. So it ain't like you got to call too many people other than your family. You're calling you, but most parents didn't really use the phones like that. My parents, I can remember, and older people listening remember this, where your parents get on the line, like, I'm on the phone. And they'll remind you they pay the bill. Like, I'm on the phone. And sometimes they would hang up, like, oh, shit. Other times, like, I need to use it. And you hang up. And you watch them until they get off. I'll be like, looking at them. You done? This is my business. This is like my whole social world is on this goddamn phone. So get done talking to your mama and let me use the goddamn phone to call this girl or talk to my boy, whatever. Mesoamerica say the oldest place. What's your opinion? No. Nah, I've had too many creation stories that come out of the Americas. The Americas is as old as any place on earth. Any place. You can find the same technology. Again, they don't know a lot of this shit. Like we was talking about the mounds earlier and the giants. A lot of times they open these mounds up, and by exposing them to oxygen, it killed everything inside, what was left. Where if they would have just exposed it slowly, where you see they was fucking this shit up on purpose, it almost seems like. Now, there's some accidents at first where they learn don't expose it to full sun. Just have some light in there, and then you can look at everything that's in there. Like copper. The copper that comes out of Michigan been mined for over 100,000 years to, they guess, 1 million years. They found a piece of copper that was big as a bus. And there has to this date still been, to technology is they can't get it out. But but those holes are 100,000 up in northern Michigan. Those mines, when they went into a lot of these giant mounds, they was finding some of this copper. And the copper only comes from up there. And they're trying to figure out how people in Tennessee and Georgia had copper from northern Michigan. Then they found some copper from Michigan in Kemet. They analyzed the copper. How did it get to Kemet? This copper that comes from Michigan, because they can analyze the shit, and they're like, how did it get to Kemet? So it shows you that the Americas have always had life in it. And ancient life is anywhere on earth. It's like, I know the Turtle Gang some of these so-called black Indians was giving them a hard time because Lenape them came all up and down Americas, all up and down Greenland, Iceland. We found my family doing the same thing. They would go Fires, Ohio Valley, come back, go up to Nova Scotia, go to Iceland, go to Green. I mean, it was always a movement of peoples. There was always a time where the people moved together. The Sagi started in New York. And these people are now in northern Minnesota. So you can't say these motherfuckers was in the plains living in teepees and shit. Just like you ain't gonna say that Lenape, the Wanapakas. We lived in cities and towns. They would kill all the people in a given town and then just literally take over the town. Build a church over. They know the holiest spot. They'd look at the ley lines and they would rebuild right over it. Or in some cases, just take over the town. All the men during season be outgoing, and they would just come kill all the women and children and old people. And then literally just move into the towns. I mean, read Cortez, read what Columbus and them say about the America, especially Cortez. When they go into Mexico City, it's the same shit as Plato writes when he talks about Atlantis. Read Cortez shit, and they'll go read Plato, what he says about that Atlantis is supposed to be. And you tell me it ain't damn near the same. Some minor differences, but a lot of it is the same. Turtle Island, is that here in America or somewhere else? Well, what you look at is if you look at the Americas, and you look at the turtle, and you include Alaska, you include South America, and you just look at the top angle, and that's kind of what we see as Turtle Island. The Americas and the islands become paws and foots and shit. Foots, feet. Leroy, look at your feet. No, it's actually Toodlum. Toodlum, look at your feet. And so that's where you get Turtle Island. But that was at one time the known world. But all of it, my point is all of it was known. There was never a time these people couldn't go around the islands. It wasn't that shit saying that, you know, they didn't know about other shit is bullshit of history. It was always motherfuckers coming from somewhere else, always. Now that's what you have to understand where more comes in. Moorine, it's more is meaning that you are parked your boat outside of a dock. That's to moor. That is just basic meaning. It is an action word. To more. So you can't just stop. You can't skip over that part. And a lot of people skip over. And it's not an attack of any of my Moor brothers and sisters. It's not an attack on that. But I'm just saying you got to consider that. That is how the word was used at first before saying it's. And what you got to understand is it's a culture. It's a difference between a culture and a people. It's like Vikings is not a people, it's a culture. So when you see them Viking movies on TV, all these blind-eyed blue motherfuckers, it wasn't like that. It was not like that. It wasn't just one group of people. It was a lot of different groups. That's why when we watched that Viking show, some bullshit like they was the first ones to go to these places. When we know they had came from the Americas and went to them places. They don't want to show that though, do they? And they don't want to tell you that Vikings is the culture. It's like really the word black. Now we busting their ass. Everybody wants to say Indians. You see how they transferred, they tried to transition back to black. That's where you look at the psyop of Black Lives Matter. It's like, oh shit. These niggas don't want to be called African Americans. They done got hip to us. Bring black back. Watch the news. What is news saying now? I'm hearing for every one time the news says African American, I'm hearing 10 times black on the news. Even the news is phasing that shit out because it ain't the people that's here. And what you got to understand is why would you bring some motherfuckers when you got all the motherfucking slaves in the world? The last thing you need is more slaves. Look up the book, The Other Slavery. You see the first Africans. It ain't them motherfuckers in Virginia. Some Africans came in the 1500s. As far as slavery was bought by the British. British crashed their boat in Mexico. The Spanish slaved the British and the blacks that came with them. It's in the book, The Other Slavery. The first slaves from Africa came through the Spaniards, or came through the British. What have I missed? The new generation will not know what a payphone or a VCR was. I saved up for the phones. I guess my grandparents were cool with it. It was in the 80s. Okay. Turtle Island is here in America. Yeah, Turtle Island is looked at as America. Cortez letters say it was easy to capture us. Right. I mean, it was. I'm here in Black American. Okay. B. Well, see, the Aztecs was only here for, well, no, let me take it back. The Aztecs came from Arizona, New Mexico, even maybe far as Colorado, but that's where they came from. They came from the Americas, went down. And at first, the Aztecs were mercenaries. And then after being the mercenary army, because again, they were just, like, even if you look at their religions and everything, all they did is copy the other religions. It's just like what the Greeks did to the Romans. You know, it's the same, or the Romans did to the Greek. It's the same gods and all that shit. More McDonald's pancakes? God damn. I guess I'm gonna eat good tonight. And hockey puck sausage. Thank you, son. Good looking. And so they were only in charge. I mean, when you get to that Montezuma, that was Montezuma 2 or 3. So they hadn't been in charge for very long. So when Cortez comes, a lot of the motherfuckers didn't like him anyway, because these were now the conquerors. And as I've said before, the name I take, eight wind, eagle claw, 8 wind flint eagle, they never captured them. They just said, we'll quit fighting your asses. So the Zapotecs, the Toltec, whatever you want to call them, they Aztecs never captured them. They captured central Mexico, central northern Mexico. And they were getting tributes to all these local tribes. So they didn't like these motherfuckers. That's why these other people helped them, because they didn't like their asses. Now, I can't say was the Aztecs sacrificing people, because you don't see that shit from the Omen or the Mayan. You don't see the Toltec. I got the codexes from the Toltecs. They ain't sacrificing motherfuckers. Now, when you kill millions and millions of people.
What's the month?
March. When you kill millions and millions of people, you need a scapegoat. So every time motherfuckers in the future find a bunch of dead bodies, it's easy to say these motherfuckers was like that. Wouldn't rain enough, they killing motherfuckers. Crops aren't growing good. I mean, that's population, that's population control. It's getting rid of population. I mean, you can look at it like that, but these are part of the things that
Oh, what's up with the pizza?
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
You said that yesterday.
Yeah, that pizza's for your sister. It's not for you. Maybe if you weren't so black looking, I would treat you different.
We need some pizza. I want some pizza.
You're not getting any pizza.
I should buy some pizza.
Yeah, you should. That's what you need to do. You need to buy some pizza. You need to give me my money. You got your check. You need to give me my money. That's what you need to do. Or I will knock you out in your sleep. You'll wake up and
how you knock me out if I'm already asleep?
You'll be unconscious, like in a coma.
Balance.
In a coma. Mexico is large land. Africa, Russia. Yeah, I mean South America. Get into Peru.
Am I checking on wings?
Look at Peru. There's parts of Peru they can't even explain how these societies existed. The societies basically had no water. They had basically sandy soil. But these people without any of this still had a thriving civilization in Peru. And they still don't know how they did it. The Yucatan Peninsula, the cenotes, they don't know how they brought that shit from the ocean and had filtered water that filtered the whole Yucatan Peninsula that had no natural water. It is an unmatched engineering feat. It is unmatched engineering feat to put water in the Yucatan Peninsula of South America. Now they're just admitting that it's one source that brought all these cenotes. So there was water where there was no. They brought the water to them. They have a filtering system in South America that still would work today. So a lot of this shit ain't new. That's my point. A lot of this shit is not new. Utah Territory used to take up 4 states. Yeah. Do you think El Chapo's intelligence like the CIA? Absolutely. The Green River is supposed to be the Nile River. I don't know about that, conscious daughter. I don't know about that. El Chapo, look, if they put names out there, the names is always agents. Like they talk about they just arrested his wife. So now the wife is the dope dealer. And then they put weed on there. It's like, well, she sold a lot of cocaine and crystal meth, but weed. Like, really? You chasing this chick all across the world because of weed? There's no drugs coming into America without the CIA's hands on it. The government has been bringing dope to America all the time. They let other folks under a guise. It's always a guise, but it's just the biggest lie ever. Uncle Sam is the biggest dope dealer in the history of the world. And that includes England, where they took back the cocoa leaves. Same thing where they had to take the magic mushrooms and the shit on the frog. They had to take all that shit back because, again, they couldn't use it the same way that we was using it. So I want to find the Stargate. You know what? Look up Nick Taylor's. Nick Taylor put up an interesting thing out of Russia, and again, it looks like a bunch of Jewish faith people. But
this is good.
It's cinnamon toast.
Yeah, oh, crap. A little bit of snap. You have me a jug?
Yeah. So, like this, you get into this book, there's a lot of dancing. It's like every time they call on a person or they change with the person, they let the person come in, step in. There's always a dance involved. And so what Brother Nick is showing all them dancing like that's like how they barred the ghost dance. Because every time we were allowed to ghost dance on the East Coast, we would fuck the Europeans up. And let me say this. I'm going to take credit for this too. It's a lot of cats calling Europeans now. I'm hearing it all up and down. And I think these cats ain't never listened to me. I see that's picking up. So we kill the white and black. They ain't white folks. That is no thing. That's a construct. These are Europeans that came to America, and they still are Europeans. And I'm not throwing shade on anybody personally. I'm saying that is what you got to call it. Do not give them the power of being white anymore. Because that's their power, calling them white. It separates them. White, what do they put in their own book? White means good. Black means, but I don't know. I mean, devil food cake is awfully good. Evil is good. Oh, American Gods. Those 3 women was dancing heavy. Yeah. 10,000 pounds of cocaine was found on a ship tanker owned by Chase Bank. No charges ever filed. Well, it's the same thing with the Godmother. They had a thing of Revolutionary War ships that came in. They was doing like a celebration in New York. And it just happened that one of her ships had all that cocaine. It was one of the same era ships. How they know that all that cocaine was on there? And then they write all the warrants. They let her bond out. Then she goes to fucking Florida. And then she starts up cocaine in Miami. That is all government backed. That is all government backed. She gets put in jail in California, and his brother just writes her letters. He starts screwing her. And all of a sudden, he becomes one of the biggest dope dealers in the country. How is that possible? Do you see? So yeah, they're don't ever think this government had nothing to do with drugs. See, even Snowfall is trying to make you think it was a rogue agent. It wasn't the whole government behind his ass. That is really what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, no, there was one agent that just hated communism so much he just continued to sell to move cocaine. No, it was our government. Even Ronald Reagan was a hypocrite. You got a wife saying, don't just say no. But yet you were saying yes because you wanted your war and you wanted the guns. So you traded cocaine for guns. And the only person they fuck with was Oliver North. They made him basically a star, putting him on TV all the time. You see whatever little time or stripped him of, he's back on TV more often than he was before. But you put him in front of them television cameras for that very reason. He was a patsy. And if he was very important, they'd have killed that motherfucker. That's how unimportant the shit really was. And now, when this conservatism thing swept the nation, Ronald Reagan conservatives, well, you all believe in being dope dealers. I mean, who really thinks that I'm a rich motherfucker, and because I'm rich, I'm going to trickle down my money? When has that ever worked? Now, dope dealers did something like that. New Jack City came holidays. You gave everybody turkeys. You bought children Christmas gifts and shit. I guess that's a little trickle down economics. A little bit. But never in our American system. Never in our system has that ever been used correctly. Trickle down economics. And George Bush running against Reagan said that's voodoo economics. Yet he ran the same system. Clinton ran the same system. W ran the same system. And so did Obama. Uncle Imbecile was the first one to try to set up something different. And everybody knows that the Bush's handlers, Obama, they was Obama's handlers. We know that. Read what Obama did compared to the policies of snatching motherfuckers off the street. You couldn't have told one administration from the other. I think it's General Clark. Read his shit and seeing how not only did Obama use their policies, he escalated the shit. Escalated their policies of snatching motherfuckers. No matter where you were in the world, they was just snatching motherfuckers and taking them to black sites. Unheard of around the world. But under terrorism. And let's say them nasty motherfuckers in England was doing the same thing. The Mossad was doing the same thing. And we saw the Mossad, the Saudis at their finest. I was reading the thing, how quick they cut that motherfucker up. They cut that motherfucker up in 20 minutes with only a splatter of blood. One splatter of blood to say the motherfucker was here. That's it. That's how efficient they did that shit. You think that's an average killer? You think just the average killer can do that shit? No, these are some of the best fucking most efficient killers in the world. That's why if you really think these motherfuckers want to take this country, if they would have wanted to really take this country on the 6th, it'd have been some real motherfuckers up there. Wouldn't have been no cameras. Cameras would have been after showing dead motherfuckers. That is the kind of killers we got in America. That's in our military. And nothing less. Anybody been in the military, you know. I was watching a brother who was a sniper. He said he killed 30-some. It was interesting. He killed 33 people, I think he said. But he said one thing that I pushed. He said that it was never easy. He said the killing was never easy. And I've said this story about a dude in Vietnam. It was a European in Vietnam and said after a while the killing became easy. And I've said my roommate that was in Vietnam, he was 10 years older than me. He never said that. The crazy dude I used to work with, he never said that. I never met one person that I personally knew that said killing was easy. Not one person that said to them killing was easy. Okay, get that motherfucker. He's playing the shit out of the tennis ball. What did I miss? The war on drugs. Yeah, it was a war on us. The war on drugs was the war on our people. That's what it was, the war on. It's funny as fuck. They have Oliver North on History. Yeah, he's always on History Channel. He's on that other channel too. I got more in the History Channel. It's the Outdoors Channel or some shit. He's on that shit too. Jack Island was their master plan. Jackal. Obama was getting people killed by this fun house, bathhouses. Yeah. CIA got the best killers. Sosa. The Christchurch mosque shooter was a trained elite level assassin, trained his whole life for that shit. Most of them are. That's why if you really think that American sniper dude, it's possible they killed him, but more likely they just put him underground. Because I think what they looked at is too many people was going to try to turn him. He was safe as long as he was in the military, but once he got on the street, motherfuckers was probably offering him cash to come do that shit for him. Again, remember, the longest shot was, I think, 4 miles. The dude set a world record for the longest being able to shoot something 4 goddamn miles away. Do you know how many spotters that takes to know the proper windage? It's a team of people on where he's shooting that tell him the windage and everything. You shooting, you can't even see where you're shooting. Now, I think they had a little video camera that showed him, the final screen, but where he's shooting from, he ain't seeing that shit. His spotters and everybody telling you, and you putting it in. It's like he had hacks, like an aim boat or something. 4 miles. Yeah, I think that's the world record. I think it's 4 miles. You can look that up. Maybe it's 3.5. But I think the guy who just set the record, it wasn't that long ago. No later than December, like January or October. But I won't say it was set. It was set in 20 though. I don't think it was set in 21. I think it was set in 20. I brought the story on here. But it's pretty common for a dude to be able to kill you from a mile away. Mile away. Guns have become that accurate. The movie Wanted had magic bullet that curved. Well, the Vietnam shit. You can catch them in Vietnam with one of them curl barrel guns where the gun would shoot around the corner. You catch a couple of them guns in Vietnam. And it didn't blow up the barrels, but the gun was designed where you could put it around the corner and it would shoot around the corner for you. You catch some of Vietnam. I did an in-depth study of Vietnam too. Talking to people. Bloods is a great book. Trying to think, was Bloods the book that Dead Presidents came from? I want to say so. I want to say Dead Presidents came off of one of the characters in Bloods. That was one of the stories that could have been. It was a couple of books I had, but it was interesting. It's one motherfucker that killed. It was a brother. And I had a big book on this. I read about it in Bloods first, but then I got a book of battles. I had a book of Vietnam major battles. And this dude cleared out. He killed 50 people with a M30 machine gun, or they call it a pig. This one brother killed 50 goddamn people by himself in live action. And it was a book called Major Battles. And and I only knew it because I knew his call numbers, the company numbers and everything, and just reading about it. And this dude just wiped out an area. Just wiped out a whole damn area. and you know what happens with that pig is the barrels get hot. And so they take a hot barrel off and they got some shit going right back on him. Ba, 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 ba. Well, guys, 2 hours and 14 minutes, as long as I can do it. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. I appreciate it. And I purposely didn't talk about something. All things are revealed. And I'm going to say this, and been told not to talk about some things. All things are revealed. I've already told this beast, they got to return the Bible. It ain't theirs. You have to return this Bible. You can't take it out of America. You can only hide it for so long. And I'm only going to say this small bit. In days coming up, I am going to have my own YMCA. And I bought a brain. This is a brain YMCA. So all you out there, there ain't nothing you can do about it now. I got the brain. My YMCA is a brain YMCA. So you're going to have to fucking deal with it. You're going to have to fucking deal with it. I'm not going to say nothing else. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Thank each and every one of you. I appreciate you for spending some time with this old pimp. And I thank each and every one of you for joining me. So as I said, each and every day, I end with a poem by Eshon. And it goes a little something like this. I'm not a New York rapper or LA gangbanger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. Thank you very much, y'all. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Till we meet again.